everyone. I'm Angelica Valenzuela discussing about the ethical egoism of Ayn Rand and divine command ethics.
Divine command ethics, also known as theological voluntarism, it is a meta-ethical theory which proposes that an action's status as morally good is equivalent to whether it is commanded by God. It asserts that moral is determined by God's commands and that for a person to be moral, he is followed to God's commands. Socrates' and Euthyphro indicates the two possibilities regarding the relationship between morality and God. Morality depends upon God, or that morality is autonomous, independent of God. Euthyphro's two alternative presents us with a dilemma. God falls under a moral standard that did not make. This seems to make God less than the greatest thing possible. By distinguishing between the basis of the moral standard and how we might come to know that standard, the alternate account supports the idea that in judging God to be good, we can mean that God is good in the sense that people normally understand goodness. Because the alternate dependency account must appeal to religion. It does not comprise a complete moral theory supplemented by religion. Many religious believers maintain that this is fact true of all moral theories, that no moral account will be adequate unless it appeals in some way to religion as well.
Ethical egoism of Ayn Rand. Ethical egoism is often used as the philosophical basis for support of right libertarianism and individualist anarchism. These are political positions based partly on a belief that individuals should not coercively prevent others from exercising freedom of action. Ayn Rand simply states all of her arguments and from the idea that man is a being of volitional unconsciousness. In short, a man has no obligation to do anything except what is in their own interest. Her arguments in a defense of ethical egoism, she declares that one way for men to effectively preserve themselves is through happiness. According to her, happiness can be summed up as existing for his own sake and questions the immorality of enjoyment of happiness. For her, ethical egoism is an intriguing concept, for it questions the foundations of morality and its own current existing state in man. The philosophy attempts to uncover the success of men and the process required in order to achieve happiness. However, the views presented by Ayn Rand in a defense of ethical egoism is a quite radical and unsatisfactory explanation for the realities of the behaviors of man.